Do you still have the stock iPhone wallpaper? Are you wondering how your friends have such cooler wallpaper than you have? Let me help you out. Now, there's nothing wrong with Apple's standard wallpapers in iOS, but iOS does offer some interesting tools allowing us to customize our lock screen and home screens. Let's start first by taking a look at what's available in the Settings app. We'll scroll down to Wallpaper, and here we can actually see different wallpaper pairs that have been created so far, reviewing them. We can also switch among them if you tap anyone to set as current. You can also customize the pair, either the lock screen or the home screen. But the one thing you can't do in this interface is delete a wallpaper pair. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Now, another place you can go to begin the customization process is to go to your lock screen, tap it to wake it, but don't swipe up to enter the home screen. Tap and hold, and you'll get a different interface for managing your wallpapers. So here, you can also do all the same things. You can review, switch, you can customize the pairs, and you can create a new one. But also, you can delete by swiping up on any pair and tap the trash can. Now, one thing you're going to notice on this interface is that after a very brief 10 seconds or so, it's going to dim out and try to turn off on you. If that happens, you get to start over from scratch. Let's go ahead and create a wallpaper pair. Here under Add New, let's tap the plus button. You'll see that we enter into a very Apple Photos inspired interface. Apple has created on the fly some different wallpapers using your own photos to help inspire you or just create ready-made wallpapers for you that you can enjoy. Sorry that these are blurred out, but I'm sure my family probably doesn't want their likenesses shared on their nerd dads YouTube videos. So as we scroll a little farther down, you'll see that there is also some standard wallpaper packs that Apple makes available. Weather, astronomy, other things down here. You can tap those. If you see the get, that means they haven't been downloaded already. If you tap get, it takes just a moment to download and they're available for you. However, I'm going to use one of my own photos. So what I'm going to do is scroll back up to the top. Again, sorry for the blur, but I'm going to tap Photos. And we're still blurred. Sorry. But here I'm going to tap into Collections. And I'm going to slide over on Albums because I have a ready-made wallpaper iPhone album. So if I tap that, these are some photos that I've collected over time that I'd like to keep. And I kind of, I shuffle through them over the years. And these are the ones that I just kind of keep. I recently went on a trip that ended up in Miami, and I ended up grabbing this photo while I was there. Now here is some interesting things you can do with this. Sorry, told you this thing keeps wanting to go out, and then I would have to start over, and that would be a bummer. So now that I've selected this photo, one of the things you can do is you can apply different filters just by sliding across. You might find some of these more interesting based on the photo, but it's up to you. You can also use two fingers to move the photo around in case you want to fine tune it, zoom, whatever you want to do. And you'll notice the time is adjusting to take advantage of the horizon line that it detects in the photo. Now that's a pretty cool feature. Another thing you can do over here is this button will actually try to create a spatial scene. Let's go ahead and try it and see what it does. It takes a look at the content on here. And if I slide around, it kind of gets a 3D look. On some photos, this would be very compelling. On this one, not so much. I'm going ahead and take it back to the standard. And now let's configure that clock that's kind of half configured itself already. By tapping this little grab handle, you can actually put the time back up in the sky if that's what you prefer, or you can keep sliding it down. Maybe you just want it to barely touch or barely sink into the horizon line, something that makes it a little interesting for you. You can also tap the numbers themselves, and then you can make them thinner. You can make them fatter, of course. Let's pick somewhere right around in here. And you can also create the opacity of the glass effect. You can make it very barely there, or you can give it just a little bit of opacity until you can read it a little better. Let's say we'll stop there. You can also switch to a solid, which does that, but I'm going to go with that glass look right about there. And notice here that you can add widgets. You don't have to, but I'm just going to pick something real quick. Maybe I'll throw the temperature in there and maybe the precipitation and be done with that. And for the quick tool buttons down here, you can choose whether or not to keep the flashlight, the camera, or any other tool that you might have in there. For me, I actually prefer to keep a clean interface and remove both of them. One commonly forgotten widget is this top one up here with the date. Up here, if you want, you could actually tap and change so that you get the date along with the weather if you don't want the weather, say, in the widgets down there. Just something to explore. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to plain old calendar. Be done with that. And now we can tap Add. Now this is where we're going to get the opportunity to also customize our home screen. Let's go ahead and tap that at the bottom. And you'll see this interface. You can switch it so that it is just simply a color gradient. You can choose another photo here if you would like. Sorry for the blur. Or you can actually go back to the paired wallpaper and tap blur to toggle the blur off. Now, depending upon the photo that you choose, this could be a problem for legibility on your icons. That's up to you. I'll let you decide how you want to do that. And once you've got this configured the way you want, tap done, and you'll see that it is now available for you to select. And it is now your lock screen. So when you're powered off, it'll look like so. And when you turn it on, it gives you the nice numbers with glass effect along that beautiful horizon. And if you swipe up, it is now the background on your home screen as well. Now, when it comes to your phone's home screen, there's also other customizations that you can do. Tap and hold a blank spot on your screen, tap Edit, and then tap Customize. Now down here, you can keep your default icons. You can go to a dark mode of your icons. Some of them are better configured for dark mode than others. You can also switch them to clear if that's what you like. You can also go with a tinted level. The cool thing about that is you could switch it to, say, more of a blue look, and then you can tone it down somewhere in here. I'll let you determine how you want your icons to look. For me, I'm going to select dark. I'm also going to select auto so that it is light colored icons during the day and dark colored icons in the evening. And you can also decide whether or not you want labels under your icons, or you can get larger icons without labels with this toggle right here. I prefer the labels. Don't really know why. And then over here, we've got this toggle, which will slightly darken the wallpaper, making legibility of the icon labels just a little better in my opinion. So that's generally what I do here. Now just Tap an empty spot to dismiss the customization controls, and there you have it. I'm going to share one quick tip for another way to jump into the customization interface, and that's in your unlocked screen here. If you swipe down from the top and go into the notification center, if you tap and hold there, you can also get into your different wallpapers, switch among them, customize them, manage them however you would like. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. One thing that confuses some people is they'll experience an unexpected wallpaper change. When that happens, one of the culprits that can contribute to that would be a focus mode. Now, I'm not really going to go into the whole use of focus modes, but if you experience that, then just pop into settings, take a look at the focus modes. Let's say you're in the driving focus mode. You'll notice that you can actually control and customize the screens, including the wallpaper for both the phone and even your watch. And now you know how to create impressive wallpaper pairs that uniquely express you. So until next time, have fun, stay safe, and keep learning.